Welcome to the Idea of You Book Talk Live. We got our pillows, we're ready to get comfy. Ha!
Hi guys, my name is Morgan Book and welcome to the Idea of You Book Talk Live. If you don't know who I am a content creator here on social media. Started with a lot of ice cream, cake decorating content, but now I talk about books, mainly romance books and anything to do with book to screen adaptations, which brings us to our live event today. If you haven't already heard of the new movie, Idea of You, starring Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galenstein, it is a brand new romantic comedy that is now streaming on Prime Video, and it is based off of a book by Robin Lee. So to celebrate the launch of the film, we're going to discuss some key themes from the book and the movie with a few of my fellow book talkers, Eamon, Sari, and Jacob. We are also going to chat with a sommelier extraordinaire, Amanda, to help match some of these specific spicy scenes from the movie with the best wine. And last but certainly not least, 19-time Academy Award nominee Paloma Diamond will walk us through a special PowerPoint presentation that you definitely do not want to miss. Plus, we're going to have a bunch of clips from the movie and some surprises for the fans in the chat, so stay tuned for more on that. First thing we're going to do, though, is watch the trailer, which I just found out broke the record for the most views ever for an original streaming movie. So let's watch it.
How did you guys meet? We need to know the story.
We met at Coachella. Hi.
Hi.
This is your trailer?
Yeah, I'm in the band. We're performing on the main stage.
August Moon?
Yeah. I met someone tonight. I feel a little inspired. This one's called Closer.
To get closer to you, girl.
Selene, we need you up front.
Okay.
Like, now.
I don't know if you remember me, but we met in Coachella.
Yes, I remember you.
Well, I desperately need some artwork.
Why don't we start in the back?
I like these.
Ah, fantastic.
This piece is from my friend Sarah.
What's it called?
Unclose me.
And what do you feel when you look at it?
Everything. What is that song?
It's nothing, really.
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm too old for you.
Hang on, no.
What about what people will say?
I don't care what they say.
We're gonna dance before we walk up the moon, and I'm hitting the ground like a rocket. We're gonna dance before we walk. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I didn't know my being happy would piss so many people off.
Did I not warn you? People hate happy women.
Took a shot and I put it right in the pocket. We're gonna dance before
What are you gonna do?
the moon, and we're hitting the ground like a rocket. We're gonna dance before we walk.
You dress?
No.
I don't know about you guys, but that is such a good trailer. As someone who has both watched the movie and read the book, I feel like it gave us a lot without spoiling the entire movie, which I find sometimes trailers do these days. So now that we have seen the trailer, it is time to get into the book. Has anyone here in the audience actually read the book yet? We'll see. Anyone read it? I just finished it a couple days ago. So it's very exciting. Well, I have brought a creator here who has also read the book, so we can chat about a couple of scenes that I think we just need to talk about. So everyone, please welcome Eamon.
Hi, Morgan. How's it going?
So good. How are you?
I'm good. For anyone that doesn't know, my name is Eamon. I also make book content here on TikTok, just like Morgan. We've been mutuals for literally ages.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I read the book last week and it was so good. And then I watched the movie yesterday and it was so good. Like,
good.
can't stop
I
thinking
know.
about it.
So great. Little fun fact for the audience. Yeah, Eamon and I have been friends on social media for a couple years now, but we just met in person, I think about 2 weeks ago in
Yep.
Berlin, of
Yep.
all places.
Berlin, Germany. Yep, that's where.
So
We're-
random. And now we're
I'm
here. We're
behind
so
you.
excited. And then I think I would love to know, I think the audience would love to know your favorite scene from The Idea of You, or scenes, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, it's so hard to just narrow it down to even just a few. But what comes to mind at first is like, okay, in the movie, when both of the characters are at the warehouse and we're seeing all these art pieces, and Hayes, played by Nicholas, points to that very colorful art piece that's very intricate and just like moving. And then Anne Hathaway's character, Solène, it just goes into this monologue of how it makes her feel everything. I think that was so important to her as a character, us as an audience, just watching her be her true self. It was so good.
100%. I think one of the main parts in the book that stuck out was you could feel her passion for art in the book. So I'm so happy that we could see that on the screen in the scene that you're talking about. One of my favorites is in the movie when he comes into her art gallery and he's like, I'll just buy it all. And you can, so like you can see he's trying to impress her, but immediately she kind of doesn't fall for that. She is like, no, a lot of artists will show their love and passion for these pieces, so the person buying it has to be the same way.
Exactly, like recognize that, the effort it took to create something as amazing as that art piece was. I think that was so important. I did love the scene in which he like bought everything and he was trying to be like super, like, hey, let me just buy everything here in the gallery, like assertive, kind of like, rizzing her up. But she was like, oh, no, I see what you're trying to do. I think that was so cute.
Yeah, it really, I think it starts to show her maturity, like between like the age gap with them. Yeah. Now, one book talker to another. I think my favorite scene from the book is the end. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't read it, but granted, wasn't expecting the ending of the book. I don't think a lot of us were, because it's not the typical ending in a romance book, which you and I read a lot of.
So true.
But I think it wrapped up so beautifully in the book, and it was the ending that needed to happen. And then in the movie, we see very, very similar, but also kind of different in the same way. Thoughts on the ending?
No, totally get what you mean. Like obviously not going to spoil it either, but the ending of the book fit well for the book itself, and the movie's ending fit for the movie itself. Like, these are two pieces of media. Yeah, they're similar, but they stand on their own, which I think is great. I think I enjoyed the ending in the movie a lot more. Just as a romance girly, it was just so tender, literally shed a tear. And like, I loved it. Like, it's something different. It was just so wholesome, honestly.
It was. I finished the book on the plane, so I had like a 4-hour flight home, and I read it in one sitting because I couldn't put it down.
Right.
And the girl beside me was reading another book too, and I kind of just like closed and I was like, okay, now I have to sit here with my thoughts, because at first I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this ending. And now watching the movie and sitting with both endings, I'm like, okay, this is what needed to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, like it makes sense for how it was. Like, I listened to the audiobook all last week, and I literally had the exact same reactions. Literally, when you finished it, you just sit there in like limbo, like, yo, I just listened to all of that. And it just kind of lingers with you, and then you're thinking about it, like, I don't know, in the bathroom or something like that weeks later. So that just goes to show the impact of The Idea of You.
It's like the Roman Empire book. Like, it will just, I have thought about the ending now every couple of days.
Yeah.
But I shed a couple tears. I watched the movie last night and I was like, that was beautiful.
So beautiful.
I know.
So beautifully done.
Now, more like a general aspect, you and I are both romance book girls. We see a lot of tropes come up in the movie and the book, same ones, obviously, that we don't see in a lot of books these days. We have Two Worlds Colliding.
Yep.
We've got Secret Love Affair, which kind of connects to a little splash of Forbidden Love, which is one of my favorites. We have got Second Chance Romance in a way, because we see her finding love now in her late 30s, early 40s, which I think I love. Go
Yes.
Selene. And then we've also got an age gap romance in a different way than we see most age gap romances be written. How does like the worlds colliding, how do you see that? How would you explain that?
I think it's very interesting. Like, I love a good, like, almost opposites attract kind of trope. And that's kind of what this was giving. Like, literally two worlds colliding. She's an older woman who runs an art gallery. She's more on the right side brain, very artsy, so passionate about what she does, whereas Hayes is the lead singer in a boy band, and you would just never think that these two worlds would collide, but it worked out. Like, their chemistry was palpable. Like, they made it work, and I think it goes down to Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Gallatin just being so good on screen, off screen, and everything like that. I've seen the interviews; they're so cute together. But
chemistry in the movie can be seen, and then you see them in the interviews, and he's calling her Annie. I'm just like, this is adorable.
no, yeah, I'm just like, that's how a nickname basis is like. Like, I love it. It's just so cute and wholesome and tender at the end of the day. Like, they're doing like a great job of like giving representation in which, the woman is older, the man is younger, in today's day and age. And they did a great job at that. So applause to them.
I think so. Yeah. Because again, like a lot of the age gap romances, the guy is always older.
He's older. Yeah.
It's fine, to each their own, but it was really fun to read a book about an older woman and a younger. Okay. It was just like a different fun dynamic. And then to see it on the screen, which again, you don't see a whole lot.
Exactly. Like, honestly, I thought it was phenomenal. Like you said before, we usually read books, romance books, where the man is much older, the woman is younger. And to read it like reverse, the other way around, was just so refreshing on so many levels. It was very deep. It was angsty. I loved the humor that came out of like both of these characters together. I think it's like an ode to like older women and everything like that, that love has no age. You can come to at any time. You are never out of your prime. So love that for them.
Exactly. And one of the differences that I actually liked between the book and the movie was the daughter, Izzy, is older in the movie. I think she's about 12 in the book, and she's 16, 17 in the movie. And I found that in like, obviously, like, not huge age difference, but just like in maturity levels.
Exactly.
I loved seeing the bond between her and her daughter in the movie. I think that was a very impactful part of it, especially when Izzy finds out about their relationship. I find that moment was just so needed. In the book, it was obviously much different because she was 12 years old and she was like, I don't understand this. But in the movie, we have the daughter being so accepting of the love and saying like, no, if you find love, you fight for it.
Exactly. Like, I was like, okay, because like we all remember being a teenager and everything like that. And, what you would expect in the situation that they're in, that, she would have that typical teenage response like, oh my gosh, mom, I can't believe you did this. Like, you're ruining my life. But you can just tell based on the relationship that they already had before, how close she is with her daughter, how she raised her, how she's always there for her. She's kind of like the cool mom in the friend group that she has. That she knows, like Izzy, the daughter knows that her mom is deserving of love, no matter how it looks like. And I think that's just so important. For also like older women that have children and everything like that, to see representation of their children accept the love that they deserve.
Absolutely. I love this discussion. We are going to bring some more book talkers in with us. We're going to have Jacob and Sari join us, who also love the book and the movie. Hi, guys.
Hi, Morgan. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Great. So, Jacob, do you want to go ahead, introduce yourself, and give us your favorite scene from The Idea of You?
Hey, everybody. I'm Jacob. I think I'm still fairly new to the book talk community, but I'm learning. I'm having a great time. I think that my favorite scene in the movie, or in the book, I should say, is actually that second to last chapter when they're in Japan. Um, Obviously, the entire book, their love story, all that was super powerful. But I think that last scene in Japan when they're spending time with each other, both knowing just kind of what's looming, I just thought kind of spoke to how powerful their romance was. And then on top of that, you guys touched on the age gap thing, and I just wanted to kind of chime in, being obviously a young man in his 20s. I think that what drew him to her for the most part was just her sense of independence, being so much older than her, and just kind of, her knowing what she wants type of thing, which is clearly very different than what he's probably used to,
Yeah.
being on tour all the time. So
Yeah, I think it was very refreshing and just like cool to see because you could tell from the moment they met that he liked her, but they were in very different stages of their life and he had
yeah,
to work to not act like, well, he was 20 years old in the book. I'm 20 years old. I know 20-year-old guys. It's not they're not at the same point. So
yeah.
it was really cool to see that in the book, like him kind of like his love for her being a more mature person, I think.
Yeah, and like you guys said, he kind of, matured up to her level as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Sari, I know you love this book. I'm going to let you take it away.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here. I'm Sari. I talk all things books and beauty over on all my channels. And like Morgan said, this book is my Roman Empire. Like I am so obsessed with this book. I have read it 3 times. I've listened to the audiobook twice. Just watched the movie, obviously. It gave me all the feels. But it's one of those books that just always stuck with me. You guys have been talking about it. So as me being the one here who is 44 with kids, like you just don't often see such a strong female main character in books like Selene, like so sophisticated, so smart, so confident in what she brings to the world, what she wants to do with her life. And so it just was one of those books that stuck with me for so many reasons, including that. Obviously, so many moments in the book that are special. I think, everything down from the end of the book, obviously, because I needed therapy for that. Hardcore therapy, like needed a friend.
Oh my gosh.
It's even just like all the little moments, like every time in the book when like Hayes just goes like, hi, like those little moments.
Yeah.
But to me, kind of going back to what Jacob was saying about, him rising to her. So like one of my favorite parts in the book is a little bit less obvious. It's when they're in Paris and they're at dinner with her and all of her very like fancy elite art crew. And they're talking about Murakami and they're talking about how art should be happy. And it's not always about being dark and serious. And I love that portion in the book for 2 reasons, for him and for her. It just really helps solidify. It was so much more than just their chemistry. So like you were saying, like often you would think that if an older woman was dating a younger guy, she needs to dress younger, act younger, feels like she has to bring, fit in more with his lifestyle. And she never did that in the book, right? She never changed this like sophistication of who she was. But he really stepped up, especially you see that in that chapter, to like, be there in this really intimidating art world as a 20-year-old guy who like is really owning these conversations about art and having his own opinions. And she sort of like is in awe of him in these conversations because he's really immersed himself in the world that she loves. And she never got that from her ex-husband. Her ex-husband didn't want her to go back to work, didn't really care about what she did, thought it was frivolous. So I think it was such a moment for her. But then on the flip side for Hayes, through the book, he has so much, he's got like a lot of anxiety about how people perceive boy bands and his art and how he's going to, progress in his career or just be a blip. And everyone at that table, like no one cared or judged him for who he was. And then that whole conversation about like Murakami, it's art should make you happy. And, what he does brings happiness to people and you shouldn't, be worried about that. And so I just thought it was such a special moment in the book for me where I was like, this can work. Like they're so perfect for each other. It's so much more than their chemistry. It's their connection. It's like what they mean to each other. It was just like that moment in the book where you sort of have that hope that this could
I
really
know.
work.
And then we all, yeah.
I think I could talk about it forever. So
No, that's so great. I think we should take a look at the comment section, see what people are saying, see if anyone wants to pop in any questions for any of us or general questions about the movie, the book, the tropes, literally anything. Take it away. I know we all have our own independent comment sections. Let me see. Someone said the ending was perfect as to the ending of a love story. Yeah. I think anyone want to talk about the ending? I've already talked about it. I loved it.
It's what makes the book. It's literally the book. It would not be the book without the ending. Like it just wouldn't. It wouldn't be the same thing.
I know, but I felt like they were the book and the movie were similar and different in their own ways. I am very glad with the movie ending because he's older and he's 24 in the movie. I'm almost positive. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like it bridges them together a little bit better. And they have then that like spoilers, 5-second warning for anyone who hasn't. There's like, it's not a huge spoiler though. They have like the 5-year aspect, which I was like, brilliant. That is so smart to kind of bring them to the similar maturity levels, I think, in that sense.
It's like the epilogue we always kind of wanted.
Yes, because we didn't get an epilogue in the book. I know. That's the epilogue we needed. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Anyone have any questions on their end?
Someone was asking over here, is there anything that you would add or change from the book that wasn't included in the movie?
Ooh. I have to think about that now.
I really wish that, like what I said before, like those moments, there's like, I think there's like 4 or 5 in the book where he goes like, hi. And it's like, I just like wish that was there. It was such like a little hymn that I was really hoping that would be there. And that was
I know. I am glad they included like the text messages though. I'm like noticed that in the beginning of the movie because in the book, they're not in the same country at so many points. So they've got their texting. And I love that they included that part in the movie. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. What are people saying? Okay, I've got one. Who was your favorite character? Eamon, do you want to go first? Between the book
is
the comic did not specify.
Okay. Okay, so it might seem cliche or basic, but the main character is Solen. She's just so she's everything I aspire to be. She's so confident and so herself, which like again I don't really like. I read about that in romance books, but not to like this level of like maturity like quite often. So I think that's so important, and it also gives me hope, like, you know, for the future, like, you know, if she can find love in her 40s, maybe it's not so late for me. Like, I know I'm so young and beautiful and flawless, but
hey, it's not so old. Hey,
it's not old at all. Like, Anne Hathaway doesn't age. We all know that. We know
she doesn't. I know. My gosh, Queen.
No, yeah, but she's just so inspiring. Just her level of maturity, her mannerisms, the way she acts. I love the sound of her voice. Like, I'm a stan at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Sari, Jacob, who's your favorite?
So in the book, I'd obviously have to go with Hayes. I mean, how can you not? Are we allowed to talk about who our least favorite character is?
No.
No?
You go for it if you would like.
Oliver.
Oh, for sure.
Like, come on.
Okay.
I wish Lalit was in. I was really hoping Lalit would have been in the movie. I know, like, she had different friends in the movie. I just think as a character, I loved Lalit as like her wing woman. Like, she was just like, obviously she had the same wing woman in the book, but I just think that the dynamics of their relationship in the book, I just thought she was such an awesome character. Yeah, she was like, absolutely. you do you go get your happiness, you go after it. But then also when like things got crazy, she was also like, okay, like we're here to work, we're like selling art. Yeah. She was like a no nonsense, but like awesome friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my favorite character, Solen, obviously, like Eamon said. But I really liked Izzy the character, but also I thought she was a great actress in the movie, especially like the beginning scene when they're doing the meet and greet and the whole like, oh no, like I'm 17 or 7, I think grade 7. What did they say?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
so grade 7. So grade 7.
So grade 7. That's what it was. I just thought that was so accurate. Again, like for like that boy band phase, so
Right.
spot on, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, been through it.
I
Let
have
me
another question. People want to know if everyone here, I don't think so, but besides me, has anyone else listened to the audiobook?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
It
The
was good.
audiobook
I
is,
really
I think
enjoyed
the audiobook is something special because it's
Yeah.
Robin Lee actually
Yeah, it's
narrating
her
it.
voice,
And so
yeah.
you like, you can feel that the character, how the characters like live inside her. Like it was,
Yeah, you can.
it. No, yeah, I love audiobooks like that when it's the author actually reading it
I
to
didn't
you.
even know. I
Yeah.
did not know she narrated that. I picked the book and I read it on the plane and I was like, okay, cool. But now, because I want to go back and now rewatch the movie and then reread the book. But now I'm gonna do the audiobook, I think, because that's
Go
so
for it. No, yeah, it's so passionate, so deep. You'll love it.
that's my move in life.
Definitely.
When I want to reread a book, I just listen to the audiobook.
I'm like
so
that too.
That's always my move.
Okay, wait, but what speed are we listening to audiobooks in? That's a good
1.7.
Oh, I'm like a regular. I don't think my brain could handle
What?
anything quicker.
I'm 2.5.
No, I do
No.
too. I do too.
1.7 is perfect. 2 is impossible to understand.
It
One is
takes
I don't think I could do
a
it.
while to get there, but honestly, I lose like I have bad attention span, so I have to listen
Me
to
too.
it really fast.
I will,
Yeah.
if I listen to it at 1, I'm falling asleep.
No, yeah, I'm just like it sounds like white noise at that point. I can't listen to it regular. I'm like, get to the point.
All the pausing, you know.
I've never even thought to speed up the audio.
Oh, I
What?
do.
Is that
It
my like
sounds
Gen X
crazy.
coming through? Like
What?
I would have never thought in my life to even increase the speed.
Really? You
Yeah,
should get
never.
into it. Yeah, you should take like baby steps, like 0.5 each time, build it up. That's what I did. It works that way, and it sounds like gibberish to anyone hearing it outside
Yeah.
of you, but it makes sense, and you can get through books faster, and you still like get the essence of the book. Like you're not like forgetting it or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But when I'm listening on like 1, sometimes these books are like 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, like I need to finish it in half the time.
I need to finish it in a day. Like I read a novel book. I'm like skimming through it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've got a question here. Do you see yourself in any of the characters?
Hmm.
For sure.
Sari? I know.
I mean, I think because they're just, like I said, as being my age or whatever. Because I have so many videos that I made on this book, and someone at one point when I cut my bangs was like, you remind me of Selene, and I can't unsee it now. And I was like,
I can't see
it
it.
was like the most awesome compliment. But I don't know. I think there's just, yeah. I mean, I would
Yeah,
hope to be a
absolutely.
sophisticated listener one day. One day.
I think also Selene, not in like the looks age wise, more in just like her passion for art. And I guess Hayes' passion for music is how I feel about books sometimes. Like I think we're all book talkers, but I think we can all agree on that front.
Second that.
Even just like when it comes to lending books out, I'm like, no, like these are my children. My mom will be like, can I borrow a book? I'm like, are you going to take care of it? Like,
Exactly. Can't risk it.
I'm very picky with who I give my books out to, in the sense that I have just like so much passion for it.
No, yeah, I second that. Like how deeply they feel about art, music, all those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is me in books.
Yeah. Jacob, did you see yourself in anyone? Obviously not Oliver.
Yeah, no, not Oliver. I mean, obviously, I'd have to go with Hayes because of his age. Clearly, I mean, I don't think there's really anybody else in the book that I could relate to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also in the sense of just like his recklessness too, and just kind of like his crazy past.
Okay. Someone said Robin has written extra scenes for the book. I didn't know that.
What?
Oh.
What?
So there's more.
Didn't know that.
I feel
Oh
like-
wait, I have heard something that if you join like her Facebook group, that there was like a little extended.
There's an epilogue.
Sarah, you didn't know
something?
that?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to inquire. I will let you all know. I will find it for us.
Please.
Yes. Figure it out. Let us know. That would be
The
so
link.
cool. Okay, what else do we have here? Let me see. Let me see. Anyone have any questions? This is okay, I got one. Favorite trope in the book?
Age gap.
Why? Jacob, are you going to find yourself an older woman now?
Well, based on, you know, the way things
I mean,
out, maybe not.
you don't know. It depends on the circumstance. You never know.
No, I just like you guys said it earlier. I mean, usually it's always the man that's older, so you know.
For real. No, yeah.
Absolutely. Eamon, favorite trope?
Probably worlds collide, a little bit of opposites attract. Oh, actually, scratch that. It's like the love affair that they have, like the forbiddenness of it. I just love a good, you know, like secret, like, oh my gosh, look at us. But I think it just added a lot more drama into the whole thing. And I'm there for drama. I live it up. I eat it up.
It adds the tension because you're like, oh, no one can find out. And you're like,
Yeah, and like, you know, he's a celebrity. You gotta avoid the paparazzi and all these things. I just love that, you know, realm.
I was eating it up. Sari?
I mean, yeah, age gap for sure. And like you're like any angst, like the more angst in the book, the more like the better. Just destroy me with it. But yeah, like I mean, who doesn't love a good age gap and a reverse age gap too? Because there aren't many. There aren't many.
I don't even know if I read another one. I think this was the only one. And now I'm looking forward to going and read more and watching the movie and everything because I loved it. Oh my gosh.
Likewise.
Yeah. Anyone have any final questions, comments, concerns? Go for it. Let me see. Any final things? Okay. Okay, no one has any more questions. All right, guess what? We are going to give you guys a question then. So in about 15 seconds, I will ask the question so you still have time to prepare. All you have to do is type the answer that you think is right in the chat box, and who knows, there might be a surprise for you. Okay, here's the question. What is the name of the gallery that Solange owns in the film? Pop it in the chat, and if you get it right, you might get a DM from us. Maybe not. Who knows? Still a surprise. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Well, while everyone is answering that, I thank you so much to my book talkers for joining me. And now we're going to switch things over to Amanda, who is she is a wine expert sommelier. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I am reading, I love to sip on something and I always wish I could pair it with a certain scene or a book. So we are throwing things over to Amanda.
Hi, Morgan. I'm so happy to be here. It's so good to see everyone. I'm Amanda. I'm a sommelier. I am here in Napa Valley, which means my life is just surrounded by delicious wine all the time, but also my first love is movies and books. So I'm super excited to bring all this together.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming here. What did you think of the idea of you in a general sense?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. In fact, when we got a little sneak peek of it, and the other day I was talking with my fiance about it, and I was like, I loved this so much. And he was like, same. He was like, I couldn't stop thinking about it all day. And like to that point, like it got me thinking about a lot of different themes around not only just the movie, but also just like this conversation around books and wine. And one thought that I had was like, people ask me all the time, can you just enjoy wine or do you have to know something about it? Like, should I have studied up on it? And the answer was like, obviously you can just drink the wine and it will probably be delicious for you. But if you do like a little study and read up on books, but different regions and combine those two, like that's where the magic happens. And I think that's sort of a parallel with like the watching the movie and reading the book, that you have all of this extra color to add that like is your own. Like you get to like put into the movie something that they maybe didn't add themselves. And so I love this idea that we are getting to have this conversation, but also I love this idea that we're getting to pair the scenes and the wines because it's so magical. Like we get, in the wine world, we love seeing our emotions connected with our wines. And when people ask me about food and wine pairings, I'm always like, it's important, the scallops go with the thing and the beef goes with the cab, whatever. But more importantly, selecting your wines should be all about your emotional state. Like, you're gonna go through Prime Video and select a rom-com versus an action film based on how you're feeling. And that's kind of how we select our wines as well.
Amazing. So we are going to have you do exactly that. We have a couple scenes for you to pair some wines with. I am not a wine expert at all. Don't know. Didn't even know you should pair with emotions. Didn't even know you could. So we're going to go to our first clip and then we'll have you pair it.
I love it.
Hi again.
Are you a part of that ASMR community that gets off on listening to people pee?
No,
Because
I
I don't think you can just go around assuming.
It's actually my trailer.
What?
It's not literally mine. I don't own it.
This is your trailer?
Yeah, I'm in the band. We're performing on the main stage, and now I'm Hayes Campbell.
August Moon?
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely know who you are. Anyway, I'll.
So good.
Oh,
I know. I love a meet cute scene so much. That one is one that has stuck in my head for so long. Tell us the wine we should be drinking.
oh
with
my
that
gosh.
scene.
I mean, speaking of emotions and wine, like I'm sweating. I'm feeling all of it. I've got anxiety, anticipation. There's like this flirtiness. There's sexual tension. I feel like I just witnessed lightning being struck. Like I am literally on the edge of my seat and I need more. I need more in this moment. And I need a wine that can sort of mirror that energy. I really want to just like be present and live in those emotions. Like I don't want to abandon it, but I also feel like I need something that I can just sort of sip without needing to think about anything else. Like I need whatever the wine equivalent of an emotional support animal is. Like I need that right now so I don't unravel. You know what I mean? And so when I think of wines that have a lot of that chaotic energy, lots of things going on that can make you feel flirty and sexy, all of those things, my mind immediately goes to one place, and that is Italy.
Yep.
We feel, yeah, okay.
Just love. I love it. Yeah.
It's this place that like oozes sensuality, but also always the wines have so much going on in the glass. Like sometimes you talk about wines from specific regions and they can have like sensuality and they can have a flirtiness, but sometimes they're like kind of more straightforward and predictable. Like French wines, for example, I find that to be that way. With Italian wines, it's never straightforward. There's always like an element that surprises you. And one of the most unexpected wines in Italy, I think, is the Super Tuscan. Hello. This is a red wine. And in Tuscany, there's so much history there. Like, we think of it being a super classic region because it is. Sangiovese is the king of the grapes in Tuscany. And in fact, like you're legally really not allowed to use any other grapes outside of Sangiovese. But in the 70s, all of these producers came together and decided that they were going to start using Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot and blending it in with the Sangiovese. And so it sort of like broke a lot of these rules and, was a very unique wine. So I think that chaotic energy combined with the fact that, we're definitely in this element of like, things are a little bit shifty, but also super drinkable, very lush, very easy to drink, like have a snack, don't have a snack, but like this will get you through whatever it is we just lived through. How do we feel?
I'm shocked actually that much goes into wine. I dabble in wine here and there. Didn't know that much. That was incredible. I think it's time for our second scene and then we'll pair it.
I feel like I don't meet people like you very often. And most people think they already know me. Hayes Campbell. It's not me. I don't know, you didn't seem to care. And for what it's worth, I think we met in a very interesting way. I think you're smart, and you know, you're also you're hot or whatever.
Hot.
Or whatever. So I guess what I'm doing here is just trying to get to know you better.
Well, I do appreciate your honesty.
Another great scene. They are so cute. Oh my gosh.
You're Hot
Tell
or
us-
Whatever is like one of my favorites. I don't even know where to start with this other than to like maybe offer a little bit of context for people who haven't seen it or read them, which is like we're coming out of Selene trying to figure out what is going on. Like they're just in like they've had this meet cute and now they're hanging out and they're like there's clearly something there, but they're not talking about it. And so there's so much confusion right now for both of them. And we have this like two worlds collide moment where you have Hayes, who's this like jet setting rock star, talking with this Selene, who is a mom. She lives in Silver Lake. She owns a gallery. So they literally couldn't be more different on paper. And yet when you combine the two, they work. Like there's chemistry there. There's magic here. And then you have Hayes, who's just totally being put on the spot. By the way, do we not love Anne Hathaway's face the entire time?
Oh my God,
She is just eating it up. And Hayes is sitting there like so uncomfortable, which I'm sure is a very, new emotion for him. Super vulnerable, putting himself out there like, yes, we love. And so I love that we get to see all of this through and get to see him having this very vulnerable moment. And we get to celebrate that because it's a big win for him. And so when I think of a wine that really encapsulates all of that, it has to be champagne. I do
love it. Love the bubbles.
Love bubble. I mean, any excuse to drink bubbles while watching any movie is a good one. But I think,
For sure.
when you think of the wine world at large, what you need to understand about champagne is that it really is a wine that does not make sense on paper. Similarly to these two people, it is a wine that, is grown in one of the coldest, like most tundra-like regions that the wine world has. It's at the very northernmost border. You ferment the grapes twice. You break all of these rules, like all the things that you're not supposed to do in the wine world, like champagne does. And it works so beautifully. And it's like, you don't have to have the exact recipe for something. Just sometimes if you throw things together, they're really beautiful and they're really magical. And the other thing about champagne is that it is one of the most pure expressions of where it comes from. It's a pure expression of wine. It shows the region, it shows the vintage, it shows everything. You really cannot put a lot of makeup on. And I think that purity of a wine is also just so perfect, in addition to the fact that, like, cheers to you, Hayes. Well done to you and both of you. Like, get after it. We're here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I will be drinking some champagne tonight when I go rewatch my movie. Red wine is, I don't think I have the palate for it just yet. I love some champagne. I love some bubbles. Thank you so much. You guys heard it here. Make sure you have your wine pairings when you go watch The Idea of You. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us.
Morgan, it's been a pleasure. I wish you well on that red wine drinking journey, and DM me if you need any assistance.
I will be reaching out if I ever dabble back in red wine.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Bye. All right. Well, that was great. It's no secret that I love romance books. I love rom-coms. Now we have a very special presentation from an actress, world-renowned on the stage, screen, and TikTok, the one and only Paloma Diamond.
Thank you, Morgan. I'm excited to be here. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paloma Diamond. I've been nominated for Best Actress 19 times. Some of you may know me from such movies as The Humps of My Heart, Ferrets or Believers, Tell Me I'm a Psychopath, Emily, and of course, this year's Best Picture, Piles. As someone with an extensive and comprehensive career as a leading lady in Hollywood, I'd like to start off by talking about why you all should watch this movie. It's a wonderful romantic comedy about a single mother who embarks on a relationship with a young man who just so happens to be the lead singer of a boy band. And what many people don't know about this movie is that this is a true story, a story based on a brave woman who felt that she could spread her wings and fly into a new experience filled with love, laughter, and the capacity to persevere through all of society's harsh standards. And that woman was me. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am the person that this story is based off, and I am so humbled and flattered that I was chosen of all people to represent and to be the vessel for which this story might take place. Yeah. My original pitch to the Hollywood producers of this film was that I wanted the character of the love interest to be portrayed by a weasel or a chinchilla. I'm a huge fan of avant-garde forms of storytelling, and the original title of the movie was actually The Idea of Shrew, but the producers thought it best that it was The Idea of You. They felt that that was more appropriate. But that's okay, that's fine. That's a beautiful title as well. Probably wouldn't have been what I chose, but still, just equally as beautiful. I also wanted the steamy love scene to take place in the belly of a whale, because I felt that that was more biblical, and it was more of this rich dichotomy between the standards and the old archaic biblical, and it was just like this clash. And I thought that the belly of the whale, like sitting in the rib cage making love, I thought that that would be a beautiful moment, but the producers disagreed with me on that as well, and they thought that it was more appropriate that it would be in a bedroom, which was more traditional. But that scene was beautiful as well. I also provided artistic direction to this movie as well. The main character owns a gallery, and actually all those pieces are mine. And they're all on display in my house in Malibu. Yeah, and they're gorgeous, aren't they? Yeah. I also inspired the costume design of this movie. We have some costume pieces that are utterly superb. Originally, I wanted all these pieces to be custom made in strands of gorgeous ivory faded muslin, but the fabric looked too much like toilet paper, so we decided against it. But these other beautiful pieces are just as lush, and you'll see them, when the cast has them on. It's just stunning material. Let's talk about my experience that the main character is based off in this movie. I had a relationship with the lead singer of a boy band, a very famous boy band in the 1960s, and I know what everyone is thinking. That I couldn't have lived through the 60s. I'm actually not as young as you think I am. But it was such a beautiful experience, and if I could take away anything from that experience, it was that I didn't care what other people thought of me, and that I was my own person, and that I was true to myself and true to what I wanted, and I felt so young and free and alive. And that's exactly the type of energy that I want to bestow on all of you. Anyway, that's me signing off. I hope you absolutely love the film. It's called The Idea of Shrew. The Idea of You. Not my title. The Idea of You. And I'm just so excited for you all to watch it. All right, that's me signing off now. Love you all. Back to you, Morgan. Back to you.
If that wasn't incredible, I don't know what was. I was laughing my head off while watching that. So thank you so much to Paloma Diamond. We're going to bring the book talkers back quickly. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this incredible, incredible launch party. You can now watch The Idea of You on Prime Video right now. So after this live, you can go watch it, like I will be rewatching it. And shout out to Local Eclectic for the surprises. This has been so great, guys. We have one more surprise before we end this live, so you can all go watch it. Thank you to my book talkers. Thank you to Paloma Diamond, and thank you to Amanda.
That was awesome. Thank you so much for joining.
Check out The Idea of You, now streaming on Prime Video.